Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff Rutenbeck, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs here at Arcadia University, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this year's Honors Convocation. If you are able, please remain standing for the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
If you could, please remain standing just for another moment. Before we begin our program, I would like to take a moment to remind us that Arcadia is a global university. Our community, family and friends in Ukraine, we have faculty, staff, and students and alumni who are all part of that story. We ask that you take the time today to reflect on the war in Ukraine and all of the individuals affected, both in our country and overseas. Please be seated. Also, I want to thank you all for following the university's masking guidelines. We'd like to inform speakers who are on the platform that they are welcome to remove their masks when speaking, and students are welcome to remove their masks for photos if that's what they prefer. Today, we celebrate the academic excellence of our undergraduate and graduate students and our esteemed faculty. This is one of Arcadia's most enjoyable events of the year, and we are so pleased that family members and friends of our students are here with us today for this in-person celebration. You can find all of our award recipients and our Deans and Distinguished Deans List honorees at www.arcadia.edu/honorsconvocation. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome to the podium the President of Arcadia University, Dr. J Stamen.
Good morning. The poet Brianna writes, "When we look, we use our eyes. When we see, we use our hearts. I see you." I think we all feel blessed and our hearts are full because we can see each other in person to celebrate your academic excellence. Your excellence comes in part because you don't just look, you see. In many ways, the academic process is exactly that, of discovering new knowledge, discovering new methods, discovering new points of view, and perhaps, most importantly, discovering what you did not know and what you did not see. Through your exploration and discovery, through your experiments and your calculations, through the essays that you write and the art that you produce, through the research you conduct and the practical application of what you learn in the classroom, you hopefully are discovering something very important about yourself. This discovery should remain with you. One of the best and most meaningful elements of lifelong learning is that there is no limit to how much you can discover about a subject matter, about yourself, about the world in which we live, and about how to make a difference in that world. And our students, as you will learn today, are making a tremendous impact on the world through their studies, their research, and their internships. One aspect that we are most proud of is how you have worked to apply your intellectual and academic pursuits to our justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion initiatives. That is when the academic experience goes next level. When what you learn in the classroom can apply directly to the world beyond the classroom, beyond campus, beyond your city, to our global society. For instance, Arcadia students have research presented on and addressed issues as diverse as the representation of African women in cinema, to the impact school funding has on students and communities, to working with troubled and at-risk youth and teens. Students have researched on programs that aim to increase fruit and vegetable intake in low-income areas, to the over- and under-representation of children in special education programs. Students have explored the global public health system to discover national health disparities and have conducted research on breast cancer drugs. These are topics that directly impact us and our global communities each and every day. They matter. And our students have been mentored by the most caring and nurturing faculty that I've ever encountered. Our faculty provide guidance, leadership, and scholarly pathway for our students to venture beyond what they ever thought possible. To our faculty, you directly impact Arcadia students each day in the classroom and the greater community through your research. Students, please join me in giving your esteemed faculty a round of applause. Students, I trust that one discovery you may have made during your academic career that has helped lead you to academic success is that intellect alone is not enough. Each of you is smart, each of you is brilliant, no doubt, but that's only part of it. You most likely have discovered that academic success is a result of being a hard-working scholar. It takes collaboration with fellow students and faculty. It takes confidence, which paradoxically often comes from failure, and a mind that ventures beyond the classroom to what impacts our society. Apply these same processes that have shaped your academic success at Arcadia to all that you do: the preparation, the commitment to excellence, the attention to detail, the ability to see and feel. All of these traits can translate to other aspects of your professional lives. Keep thinking big, because the world needs your ideas, your passion, and your dedication now more than ever before. The world needs you to not just look, but to continue seeing as you have done so exceptionally well at Arcadia. Congratulations. Order of malfunction.
Thank you, President Nair. At Honors Convocation, a student is selected by the deans to provide an address on behalf of the student body. This year's speaker, Mia Wu, is a studio arts major with a concentration in ceramics. One faculty member remarked that Mia created an LGBTQ children's book that, quote, blew us out of the water. Mia also has written for our Because Arcadia student blog, and you can learn more about her experiences at Arcadia through that award-winning platform. It is my sincere privilege to welcome to the podium this year's Honors Convocation student speaker, Mia Wu.
I get to see my face for the first time in 2 years. That's exciting. Thank you, Dr. Rutenbeck. Students, faculty, friends, and families, good morning. Thanks. I would like to speak to you today about perfection and vulnerability. When I was little, I used to play a game called Perfection. There was a board with 25 uniquely shaped holes and 25 matching pegs that went into each one. The board was pushed down like a toaster, and a timer was set for 1 minute. The objective of the game was to fit each peg into each hole within that minute. If I didn't before then, the entire board would pop up, consequently scattering the pegs everywhere, and I would have to start over. My little toddler fingers fumbled with the pegs because I didn't have the fine motor skills yet, but what I did have was the determination to achieve perfection. My mom affectionately started calling me a perfectionist after that, and the adjective stuck throughout my entire childhood. I was praised for the trait, and I took pride in it. I thought it was an admirable asset. But at the same time, I was terrified of making mistakes because I thought that making mistakes made me a failure. I believed that anything I did that was less than perfect wasn't good enough. I felt that every action I took had a significant enough impact on my future that I couldn't afford to make mistakes. Fast forward a few years, I'm now at Arcadia University majoring in art. One afternoon in ceramics class, my classmates and I were learning how to make vases by throwing 2 large bowls on the pottery wheel and attaching them together at the rims. But I felt off that day. I went into my class thinking that art, my niche and my lifelong source of joy and passion, was supposed to make me feel better. But even when I entered the safe space of the studio, I felt like I had no control over the clay. My vase ultimately collapsed during the critical stage of attaching the 2 bowls, and all I could do was stare at the vase in horror. I could feel the dreaded lump in my throat and the all-too-familiar pre-cry sting in my eyes. And when I called my professor over to help, he took one good look at the vase and said, "I think this is going to be really good for you." And I was offended. For a split second, I was enraged. I was clearly in distress, and my professor had the audacity to smile at me. Nonetheless, my feeling of embarrassment was stronger than my anger. I was the student in the class with the most prior ceramics experience, and here I was with the only collapsed vase in the room. I had never been angry at a piece of clay before, or my own art. And once my anger had fizzled out, I realized that my professor was right, and that I was utterly terrified of failure, the thing that I'd worked my entire life to avoid. And my own professor was happy that it happened. I think that it's normal to be afraid of failure. The fear isn't unique to art students like myself. The art department has a saying, process over perfection. You're welcome, Carol. Not everyone knows it verbatim, but that is the mindset by which we are taught and are tasked to internalize. And I think that I can speak for not just my fellow art students, but many of my fellow Arcadians, when I say that this is a task much easier said than done. We've all worked incredibly hard to be able to be gathered in this room this morning. I don't think we're at fault for striving so tirelessly to meet the standards of perfection. We've been trained to get those A's on our report cards, those 5s on our AP exams, a list of extracurriculars, and to be multifaceted, well-rounded students to show how much we are capable of achieving just to be accepted to a university where we'll start the cycle of overachievement again to prove we're worth belonging there. I train myself to focus so intensely on not just being good, but at excelling at everything I do, that I forget in order to be good at something, I have to learn how to do that. Being an art student, the work that I produce is often driven by personal subject matter, my passions, my emotions, and my interests. Art isn't like a math equation where there is a known answer at the end of the equation, or like a force that consistently obeys the laws of physics. But I believe that my experience isn't unique in that, as tiresome as settling for nothing less than perfection is, putting yourself into the work you do is just as much, if not more, terrifying than failing to be flawless. Much like our fear of failure, many of us fear being vulnerable. The word itself means being susceptible to harm. It's hard not to conflate yourself and your work or your achievements, especially when being the perfect student has been the goal for so long that it's become part of your persona and your identity. And I suppose if you put so much of yourself into your work, you can't help it. Maintaining perfection is hard, but forgoing that to be vulnerable by being myself and admitting my own humanity seemed much harder. But the comforting part is that putting yourself out there in that way allows you to be seen by others like yourself who are doing the same. Authenticity is a form of vulnerability in itself. My authentic self isn't perfect. I'm still terrified of messing up. I'm still terrified of making mistakes, and each time my inner perfectionist likes to lie to me and convince me that the world will end should I fail, I'm proven wrong time and time again by my community that I found here at Arcadia. They have shown me that whether I succeed or fail, that does not diminish my worth or my potential, not just as a student, but as a person. I feel safe to own my humanity and all that comes with it, and still be met with a community that will cheer me on and support me regardless. The safety of my community has allowed me to heal and grow and learn and be confident in who I am, and not just figure out who that person is, but figure out how to love her and be proud of her. And now I'm in a place where I can contribute back to my community what it has given to me. I want to thank you all for the honor and the privilege of speaking to you this morning. And I also want to congratulate the recipients of the awards that will be distributed today. And in the spirit of what I've talked about, I just want to say that the hard work and achievements that brought you to this room are something to be immensely proud of. That being said, your value to the world is not defined by the things that you have achieved or will achieve in this life, but it is defined by your existence. You are valuable because you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mia. Morning. My name is Peter Siskins. I'm the Associate Provost, and on behalf of the Division of Student Success, we will now collectively recognize those who have been inducted into academic honor societies and who have earned Dean's and Distinguished Dean's honors. Phi Kappa Phi is a national honor society that recognizes and encourages superior scholarship in all academic disciplines. The Arcadia chapter was established in 1994. Seniors who are in the top 10% of their class and juniors who are in the top 7% of theirs are eligible for membership. The society also recognizes those who are exemplary, who exemplify superior scholarship in their academic disciplines. The names of our student inductees who were inducted earlier today appear in the Honors Convocation program. While we recognize those students as a group, we are also very proud of their individual accomplishments. How about a quick round of applause for our Phi Kappa Phi inductees? The Convocation website also lists the graduate students inducted into the Alpha Epsilon Lambda chapter, the only national honor society for the promotion of academic excellence for graduate students. Students are selected because of academic distinction, leadership, and service. We will induct this year's members at a ceremony later this semester, and we congratulate them on their distinction. Another round of applause. And next, we're also proud to acknowledge our students who have earned a place on our Dean's List and on our Distinguished Dean's List for the last 2 semesters in fall 2021 and spring 2021. Undergraduate students earning Distinguished Dean's honors have achieved a grade point average of 3.9 to 4.0 in the applicable semester, while students named to the Dean's List have earned a grade point average of 3.67 to 3.89 in that semester. These students are also listed on our Convocation webpage as well. So one more round of applause for our Dean's Distinguished and Deans. Next, I want to get our handing out of individual awards off to kick that off. Before I turn it over to the individual deans of the colleges and schools, we want to recognize a one-time award this year, the Writing Center Award, which was made possible by a generous and anonymous donor to Arcadia who has provided funding for us to support and recognize 3 wonderful students who have engaged through writing in community outreach and leadership and student-peer relationship building. So I'd like to recognize and ask them to stand, please, for a moment. Isabella Perry, Laura Bristol, and Victoria Bissonette. Congratulations to the 3 of you and for making the Writing Center's work such an important and valued part of academic development at Arcadia. I'd now like to introduce the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Rebecca Cohn, to announce that college's individual awards.
Thank you, Dr. Siskin. It is my privilege to announce the Department and Program Awards for the College of Arts and Sciences. I ask that each recipient come forward when their name is called. Some award winners could not be with us today because they are studying abroad, presenting at a conference, or on a clinical rotation, or had a previous commitment. Our first award is the Ruth C. Grant Distinguished Achievement Award in the Fine Arts, Ibrahim, Zilla. Artists and designers always hope to build a community, one in which they feel heard, understood, and can do the same for others. Ibrahim is always ready to help a fellow student by way of an insightful critique, a digital trick, or a hilarious comment. Ibrahim is the creative voice of his generation. Quick with a comment on the current state of graphic design or why Miles Morales is the best Spider-Man. The Spruance-Damier Award, Hannah E. Wu. Hannah is the heartbeat of the Arcadia Art and Design program. Stop by the Mac Lab or the Spruance Gallery, and you're sure to run into Hannah assisting in an exhibition, helping a classmate, discussing a current assignment, mentoring a student, or working on an illustration and design project. The Biology Department Excellence in Research Award, Caitlin S. Decker. Caitlin is one of the hardest and most dedicated research students the Department of Biology and Frederick Lab have ever had. Her critical thinking and impeccable organizational skills allowed her to generate data for different projects that will be included in 2 manuscripts currently in preparation. Caitlin is a humble leader and a source of inspiration for other students. The Paul R. Cutright Award, Benjamin Arcona. Ben is a dedicated, hardworking, and highly accomplished in his academic pursuits. Ben is an inquisitive scientist and a great collaborator, and we have no doubt that he will continue to be successful in his chosen career as a physical therapist. We have 2 recipients for the R. Wesley Rose Award in support of undergraduate research. The first recipient is Praise Joel. In just a short time, Praise has become an invaluable member of the Swanson Lab, where he studies intestinal stem cells, and the biology department, where he assists with lab preparation. He's smart, hardworking, eager to learn new skills, and enthusiastic about exploring new scientific questions. Praise is a talented student researcher who truly exemplifies the spirit of the West Rose Award. The next recipient of this award is Michelle Frank. Michelle is an excellent student and superb team player who excels in everything she does, whether it's on the volleyball team, the LRN, the honors program, or the breast cancer research team in Dr. Theodoraki's lab. Michelle started her research as a first-year student and aspires to pursue a doctorate. Her curiosity, commitment, and enthusiasm for research definitely honor the legacy of Dr. West Rose. the Philadelphia Section American Chemical Society Achievement Award, Jennifer E. Bilker. Jennifer has the highest GPA in her class and has worked as a research assistant in both biology and chemistry for the past 3 years. And if that's not enough, she also plans to attend medical school this fall. Jennifer will present her research results at the national meeting of the American Chemical Society this month. The Gates Aaliyah Breyer Award to Adrian Wilson. Adrian is at the top of his class in both the equilibrium and analysis and organic chemistry courses. He is planning on an exciting career in a biomedical field. The Frederick Readers Award of Excellence in Forensic Science, Marin Higgins. Marin started at Arcadia as a 3+2 pre-forensic science student in 2017 and graduated with honors cum laude in spring 2021. Marin is a team player who's been actively engaged with campus activities while at Arcadia. She recently had research accepted for presentation at the American Academy of Forensic Sciences in February this year. As a top performer in the Masters of Science in Forensic Science class of 2022, she's a worthy recipient of the Readers Award for Excellence in Forensic Science. The Sigma Zeta Award in Computer Science, Jasmine D. Holland. Jasmine is the strongest computer science student in the last 10 years. Jasmine's passion for virtual reality, AI, programming, English, Japanese, and many other areas led to her to achieve outstanding results. You can see this demonstrated through her conference participations, publications, scholarships, and direct admission to high-caliber PhD programs. The Sigma Zeta Award in Actuarial Science, Faith M. Rainier. Faith is bright, energetic, and conscious of her responsibility as a citizen. She has an almost perfect GPA, passed 3 actuarial science exams, and still finds time to tutor, play for the Arcadia tennis team, and compost to help make our planet more livable. Faith has secured a great job with a local insurance company, and the department wishes her lots of luck. The Doris Fenton Award, Michaela Call. Michaela has impressed her instructors from the Gateway course into the English major and on to the senior seminar. Her capstone project on numbness and postmodernism in the work of Neil Gaiman required her to be creative and intellectually flexible. When her work seemed to hit a wall, she was not afraid to pivot and develop her ideas in new directions. Michaela approached the project not only as a culmination of her academic work, but as an opportunity to continue to learn and grow. The Excellence in Creative Writing Award, Deja Patton. Deja's short collection of poems, A Eulogy to Find Love, shows us not only her willingness to explore the many facets of love through precise form, image, and sound, but also her continued dedication to sharpening her craft as a poet. Stacia's attention to detail and control of voice extend beyond her years in this strikingly honest collection of poems. The William Bracey Award for Distinction in Shakespeare Studies. Our recipient is Eric Hamada. Faculty members note that Eric has been a passionate and dedicated student with a keen interest in the works of Shakespeare, which is also very apparent in his creative writing. The History Distinguished Achievement Award. Our recipient is Marie Grace Terinoni. Maria's success at Arcadia is a testament to her academic curiosity, work ethic, and determination. No less than 16 of her course grades are A+. Her senior research project, which focuses on the failure of the United Nations to grapple effectively with post-World War II genocide, indicates Maria's driving interest in global citizenship and moral leadership. Elite law schools have already accepted her. The Joan and Bob Thompson Political Science Award. Hannah M. Garber. Hannah played a critical role in growing and strengthening our Model United Nations program and spent countless hours dedicated to service in her leadership role. She's preparing a senior thesis on law, policy, and educational reform and will continue her studies at law school in the fall. The Excellent in Communications Award. There are 2 recipients for this award. Anna L. Hilbert. Anna is a dynamic student, sophisticated thinker, and reliable leader. They excel in every creative and intellectual facet of media and communication, whether it's writing, video production, web or graphic design, and public relations planning. Their creative work is excellent in both intellectual theory and formal design. Justina K. Tran. A sterling ambassador for the Department of Media and Communication, Justina lights up the classroom, the production studio, and campus tours. She's an excellent, outgoing, and dedicated student who is always willing to participate, experiment, and collaborate. Justina is fearless in experimenting with new media and diligent in developing her techniques. The Croak Family Award for Excellence in Modern Language Studies. The sponsor of this award, Trustee Babs Banker Croak, and her husband, Melvin Croak, are in the audience today. Babs earned a bachelor's degree and a master's degree at Arcadia. Babs and Mel, thank you for being here and for your support. Our recipient is Amidi Esta Kadusi.
Esta has an exemplary grade point average and has been a French tutor for years. Her thesis about representations of African women in French cinema speaks to the breadth of the global Francophone community. Dr. William V. Fabrizio Music Award, Amanda Wexler. Amanda has participated in every choral ensemble, and since her second year has held leadership positions in all three. Her dedication and work ethic are outstanding. The Martha Jean Hill Award, Emily Jordan Brown. Emily has been conducting research since she first stepped foot in the psychology department. She's bright, intelligent, diligent, disciplined, astute, and a whiz at research design. Emily is sure to be a positive influence in her field once she enters the PhD program in the fall. The Samuel M. Cameron Graduate Award for Excellence in Counseling, Taylor Marie Curtis. Taylor completed her practicum training at Philadelphia's Prince Hall Elementary School and is completing an internship at WOAR's Philadelphia Center Against Sexual Violence. Taylor embodies the spirit of the Sam Cameron Award by integrating her commitment to evidence-based and multicultural counseling. The Gordon Family Award, Haley G. Smith. Haley is in her second year majoring in criminal justice and minoring in law and public policy. In her research paper, What is Owed to Crime Victims? The True Restoration, she argues that implementing restorative justice would improve the criminal justice system and reduce racial disparities. The Johnston Family Award in Sociology, Anthropology, and Criminal Justice, Eleanor Faith Doughton. Ellie is a senior cultural anthropology major and film production minor. Her senior thesis is a content analysis of TikTok videos posted by people who identify as abrosexual and/or abrogender. Ellie worked as a pedagogical consultant for the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Mentoring with Dr. Church as an equal collaborator on the development of an AN 120 introduction to cultural anthropology. The Raina Sue Moskovitz Memorial Award, Anastasia Y. Hicks Hunter. Anastasia is a senior criminal justice major and sociology minor. That's okay. It's your moment. For her senior thesis project, she is researching the effects of sexual assault on college students and the effectiveness of prevention and response services as the captain of the nightclub dance team. Anastasia has been a leader of Arcadia Dance Student Club. the Shakespeare Theater Award. Brianna Martinez Jimenez. Brianna has exemplified both excellence and versatility in her work as a BFA acting major. Brianna has excelled in a range of roles in Arcadia Theater productions of Circle Mirror Transformation, Click, and Marisol. Brianna is a leader and an exemplar of justice and equity within the program. This concludes the awards for the College of Arts and Sciences. Presenting the awards for the College of Health Sciences is Dr. Rebecca Croak, Dean of the College of Health Sciences.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Cohn. Good morning. As I said, it is my pleasure to present the awards for the College of Health Sciences. The Gretchen M. Krug Humanitarian Service Award, Sally Anderson. Sally is a hard-working, dedicated student who has maintained a GPA of 3.88 during the course of her clinical year. During her didactic year, Sally served as a constituent chapter student representative for SAPA and the PA Olympics president. Despite facing the difficulties that were brought by the pandemic, Sally thought outside the box by organizing virtual fundraisers for the PA Olympics and raising nearly $25,000 for families inflicted by congenital heart defects and disease. Congratulations. The Wallace E. Young Community Service Public Health Award, Layla Darren. Layla is an MPH DPT student graduating this summer. She is hoping to travel to Guatemala to complete her MPH internship with Hearts in Motion. For her capstone project, Layla evaluated community-based programs aimed at increasing fruit and vegetable intake among African Americans of low income in urban areas, specifically in the Point Breeze section of Philadelphia. She was also a member of the Physical Therapy Multicultural Leadership Alliance and active in organizing the group. And this concludes the awards for the College of Health Sciences. All right, it is my pleasure to introduce John Noakes, Dean of the College of Education.
It's my pleasure to announce the awards for the School of Education. Thank you, Beck. The Marilyn Riggs Meshash Memorial Award is presented this year to Maria Amelia Cabrera. Maria is an early childhood working professional in the pre-K4 program and a strong advocate for high-quality early education and care for the young children and families in her room. As a working professional and as a student in her program, Maria has consistently demonstrated passion, diligence, and a strong work ethic. In a similar manner, Maria has also consistently stood out as a leader and advocate among her peers during her time at Arcadia. The Horace C. Woodland Memorial Award is presented today to Toby Keller. Toby is a secondary English education student who not only has served as a SAGE peer mentor for the last 2 years, but has taken leadership as co-chair of the SAGE Power Conversation, a monthly 2-hour discussion about critical issues in our society and their impact on education and BIPOC LGBTQI+ students. These conversations went so well that Toby was invited by the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to lead a conversation for the entire university during Martin Luther King Jr. Week celebrations at Arcadia. The Evelyn Smith Monteith Graduate Award is presented today to Jasmine M. Sorrell. A double major in psychology and education studies, Jasmine's work exploring applied behavior analysis with young children demonstrated intellectual acuity and professional attributes typical of a graduate student with many more years of education and training. Her education capstone project, situating an important analysis of the over- and underrepresentation of BIPOC children in special education programs, demonstrated skills in research and theoretical analysis that warrant extended study and further professional growth towards her chosen career in school psychology. The Adeline W. Gomberg Award in Reading goes today to Richard Hendricks. Richard embodies the compassion, kindness, and intuition to be an excellent reading teacher. He showed leadership and willingness to grow in his own professionalism while completing his literacy studies program. Richard connects to the struggling reader and is dedicated to the growth of all students, especially those with different learning styles. This concludes the awards for the School of Education. Please welcome the Chair of the School of Global Business, Raghu Kirthakoti.
Thank you, Dean Noakes. The Business Administration and Economics Distinguished Achievement Award to Emily Heron. Emily has excelled at Arcadia as a business administration major with a concentration in management. Emily's professors note that she is an enthusiastic learner, contributes greatly during class discussions, has strong communication skills, and shows initiative working in groups. Emily is currently completing an internship at the Gift of Life Family House in Philadelphia, where her responsibilities include overseeing day-to-day operations. After graduation, she will start a position with Aramark in their Accelerate to Leadership program as an HR specialist at Colonial Williamsburg. The Pennsylvania Institute of Certified Public Accountants Award to Samuel DeLeo. Sam is intelligent, hardworking, dedicated, and possesses the qualities required to be a true professional. As an accounting major, Sam has always exhibited both integrity and professionalism in his approach to all of his academic and professional activities. Sam has accepted a position after graduation as an audit associate with the Big Four public accounting firm of KPMG, where he also interned. This year, we have a new award to announce in the School of Global Business, the Sports Management Distinguished Achievement Award. And our first recipient of this award is Sydney Barr. Sydney has maintained a 3.97 GPA while conducting 3 internships and playing for Arcadia women's basketball. Sydney possesses strong analytical and communication skills as well as an ability to apply legal concepts to the sports context. Sydney has a strong intellectual and academic bent and will make a contribution to the field of sports law and business. This concludes the awards from the School of Global Business.
Thank you, Raghu. I would like to now announce the University Awards. Our first University Award to present is the Betty Landman Award. Would Rock Hall, Vice President of Enrollment Management, come forward to present the award? They rise. Our recipient this year is Hannah Cropper. Hannah works to create the most inclusive environment. While studying abroad in Scotland, she immersed herself in the experience and took it upon herself to learn the culture and, more importantly, the people. Hannah is heavily involved in campus clubs, the Honors Department committees, the Writing Center, the LRN, camp, and research in the biology department. This future doctor has given back to the community through volunteering as an EMT. Hannah truly embodies the tenets of the Betty Landman Award. Our next award is the Janet E. Walbert Leadership Award and the Honors Program Distinguished Achievement Award. Deja Patton. You might already know that Deja is an exceptional leader, student advocate, and influential mentor. Deja's commitment to Arcadia is evident in her role as an orientation leader, ambassador, sage mentor, content creator. In addition to pursuing her traditional education, she is committed to changing the realm of education from the inside out. Following the murder of George Floyd, Deja chose to rise up and bring her fellow classmates together to demand change at the university and to be part of that change. Deja truly embodies the tenet of the Jan Walbert Award. The Vera I. Hines Program for Women in Global Leadership is Nicole DeCray. Nicole is majoring in public health with a minor in biology and is an active member of the Arcadia Christian Fellowship, Women's Arcadia Swim Team, and the Honors Program. This year, Nicole plans on studying abroad in Amsterdam, Netherlands, to explore the Dutch approach to public health and their healthcare system. This experience connects to Nicole's career goals of working for a global public health nonprofit that addresses nutritional health disparities. Congratulations. The Ellington Beavers Award for Intellectual Inquiry. Each year, multiple students receive funding to pursue projects that exemplify the substantial intellectual inquiry inherent in good research. This year we have two recipients of the award. Emily Jordan Brown Emily conducted research on can exposure to conspiracy theories lead to the endorsement of political violence? Faculty sponsor, Dr. Allison Claybaugh. Congratulations. Caitlin Decker. Caitlin studied chemosensitivity of two-dimensional and three-dimensional MDS-MD 231 breast cancer cells. Faculty sponsor, Dr. Maria Theodoraki. The Marie Louise and Eugene Jackson International Fund for Student and Faculty Development Graduate Student Award. We have three recipients for this award, including Riley Ratcliffe, who is interning in London and unable to attend this morning. Olivia Lynn Meyer. Olivia engaged in the physical therapy pro bono trip to Guatemala with Hearts in Motion. Oh, wait, Olivia, I cut you short. Hold on just a second. I have more to say. I require close supervision. You probably already know this, Olivia, but you excel at developing relationships with each patient. To build trust and facilitate improved participation in therapy sessions, Olivia is a natural leader, and her professional behavior is truly beyond entry level. Olivia has gone out of her comfort zone in so many ways, and she will be a better clinician for it, and she's flexible too. Thanks, Olivia. All right, back on script. Sarah Catherine Cooney. Public health work in investigating the burden of tobacco smoking and its relationship with lung cancer abroad. Sarah is an innovative thinker and hard worker. Her capstone instructor notes that it was clear she could navigate a complex topic, analyze facts, ask thoughtful questions, and then roll up her sleeves and get the job done. As a department, we greatly appreciate Sarah's gentle spirit, optimism, and true interest in public health and addressing needs during the challenging time of COVID-19. We now will present the Provost Prize. Our recipient is Garrett Knox. Although there were 10 students at Arcadia with a 4.0 GPA, Garrett had the most completed Arcadia credits, and he has earned Dean's Undergraduate Distinguished Honor List recognition for 3 semesters. Professors note that Garrett, a biology major, is a serious, dedicated student who strives to have a complete, thorough, and deep understanding of the course material. One professor notes that Garrett is such a thoughtful, deep-thinking student that he has to consult his books to find an answer to one of Garrett's questions. Garrett's professor for organic chemistry, Dr. Linda Mascavage, shared that in teaching organic chemistry for over 3 decades, Garrett has earned the unique distinction of being the only student who has ever achieved a 100% on any of my exams in organic chemistry. Wow. Not coincidentally, Garrett has also recently decided to engage in research in Dr. Miscavage's laboratory. Congratulations, Garrett. The Robert L. Swain Award. Our recipient is Benjamin Arcona. This, as you know, is Ben's second award of the day. Congratulations, Ben. The Molly Haas Valentine Award. Lilibel Peralta Sharif. Lilibel is a master's in counseling student with a concentration in trauma studies. She was deployed for 11 months as a member of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, becoming a new mother when the pandemic limited child care support. She also suffered multiple family losses. Through all this, Lilibel has remained a dedicated student, an enthusiastic and skilled practitioner. Congratulations and thank you for your service. Would President Nair please come forward to present the President's Prize? This year's recipient of the President's Prize is Michael J. Stamen. As a double major in Spanish and in French and Francophone studies, Mike brings a global perspective to his academic career. Both in Glenside and during his semester abroad in France, Mike has developed his cultural literacy of the more than 29 countries worldwide where French is spoken. Mike is an engaged and active participant in class discussions, and he plays a central role in the creation of a classroom community of his peers, whether they are from Europe, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, the West Indies, or the United States. Congratulations, Mike. This concludes our Student Award presentations. Congratulations to all of our recipients. Now we will honor distinguished members of the Arcadia University faculty. The first faculty award to be presented is the Provost Award for Outstanding Advising and Mentoring. This award honors a faculty member whose advising or mentoring displays consistent, exemplary commitment to student success. This year's recipient is Dr. Christine Mullen, Assistant Professor of Media and Communication. Christine has been an Assistant Professor in Media Communication since 2000. Not only has she taught a variety of classes within media and communication, she has also developed courses for the first-year seminar and the university seminar program. Many students and colleagues remark that she often goes above and beyond to instill passion and drive in her students through encouragement and positive reinforcement. Others mentioned that the student-run public relations firm that she oversees has allowed public relations students to work with actual clients to become equipped with what is needed to become PR professionals. The Faculty Awards Committee certainly agrees with the student who wrote, "If anyone deserves this award, it is most certainly Chris." Congratulations. Our next award is the Adjunct Faculty Award, which recognizes an adjunct faculty member who is an especially effective classroom teacher and who has significantly influenced students' education at Arcadia University. This year's recipient is the English Department's very own Daniel Pietskalan. Daniel has been a member of the faculty since 2014. He served as faculty advisor for Quiddity, Arcadia's undergraduate literary magazine, and has been a faculty fellow for the Center Teaching, Learning, and Mentoring since its inception. In nominating Daniel, one student wrote, "I was struck by not only how well-read and thoughtful he was, but also how deeply he understood the issues of equality and equity and their importance." Several others commented on his kindness and respect for students, and that he always put students first. As one nominator wrote, "He's so much more than just a professor. He's an example of a great leader and a friend. He deserves this recognition more than anyone else on Arcadia's campus." The Faculty Awards Committee wholeheartedly agrees. Our final award is the Lindback Distinguished Teaching Award. The Lindback Award recognizes particularly effective classroom teachers at Arcadia University. Students nominate their faculty for this award. It is the most prestigious award bestowed on faculty members here at Honors Convocation. This year, the recipient of the Lindback Distinguished Teaching Award is Dr. Michael Tevold, Associate Professor of Physical Therapy. Mike joined the physical therapy department in 2016. Almost every nominator commented on Michael's patience in explaining and his compassion when working with students both online and in person. They mentioned how he was always available outside of class to assist students who may be struggling, and that he constantly brings new ways of teaching into the classroom. Many talked about how Mike creates a comfortable, open atmosphere that encourages discussion and sharing of opinions. The Faculty Awards Committee are in complete agreement with the student who wrote, "When I think of what a good professor should be, he checks every single box. If there is any professor worthy of this award, it is Dr. Mike Tevold." Congratulations, Dr. Tevold. That concludes the academic celebration of our Honors Convocation. Congratulations again to all of our award recipients.